Alrighty guys, so what we're going to be doing is going over how to play Magic the Gathering. So I'm going to go ahead and start with kind of explaining the different cards so that as we get into a match, you kind of better understand what it is we're doing. So I'm a visual learner. For those of you that aren't, shouldn't matter, but for those of you that are, kind of think of this game like you're a wizard, right? And you're fighting another wizard, and you each have health, right? You're trying to kill each other. You start with 20 health apiece, and you are each casting spells to defeat each other. Spells are any card that you play that are not mana. We'll get to that in a minute. So essentially what you're doing is you're casting spells to defeat the other wizard. That other wizard is then casting spells to defend themselves, counter those spells, whatever the case is, possibly just take the damage. Anyway, so we'll get into that. The other thing I'm going to show you real quick is a couple different cards, what they are, how they work, how they interact. That way, again, when we get into the match, you understand a little better. So let's go decks. Let's actually, you know what, let me pull out one of my other decks just to kind of show you guys. No, here, we'll do this. So in order to cast a spell, you need some sort of power, or you have to, you know, where do you get this from? So in this game, you have mana, and in order to cast higher tier spells, you need more mana, you need more power. So how this game is played is every turn you are allowed to play a maximum of one land per turn, like on your turn. Of course, there's going to be cards that say do otherwise, so when I explain these rules, for the most part, it's going to be the base rules. A lot of times there are cards that supersede those, do what the card says, we'll get into that. So this is mana, or land, right? You're going to see basic land, land. It's going to say land of some sort, so that you know it's mana, right? So in order to cast a spell, let's go with a blue, right? So you see this blue mana right here? It's just one of these, one blue mana. So if I wanted to cast this spell right here, right? It's a spell, it's a non-land card, it's not mana. If I wanted to cast this spell, it cost me one blue. So I would have to use one of those blue, and I could play this card. Let's say, for example, I wanted to play this one right here, right? This one has 2 mana. So it's one blue. Oop. Actually, we'll do that. Yeah, one blue. You can see at the top right of Draycatcher, and then there's a little gray 1. That's one of any color. So I would need 2 mana. It could be blue blue, blue black, blue red, whatever the case is. 2 mana, 1 has to be blue. So now that we've gotten to that, let's go ahead and actually get into a game and kind of show you, how this plays out. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and start as in a bot match, because non-bot matches have timers and such, and I want to be able to explain things to you guys, and then we can always play a regular match later on. So let's go find us a match. We'll do bot. Love you, Goose. Trying to think of one that'll work well together, where I can kind of show you some stuff. Let's do this. This one's pretty basic, but also a very good deck. So. Okay, so you're going to see right here, keep 7 cards. You're always going to draw 7 cards unless you mulligan. So what you can do, if I didn't like the cards that I saw here, I can mulligan. I take these cards, shuffle them back into my hand, draw 7 cards, and then discard down to 6. And you can continue to mulligan until you have no cards. So if you wanted to mulligan 3 times and go down to, 4 cards, you could. I kind of like what I'm seeing, so we'll start with this.
I'm your spark.
So he's going to play his 1 mana, right? Then he wanted to play that creature, so it costed 1 red mana. So he tapped it. That's what this little symbol is. He tapped it, saying it's used, and then played this. So I'm going to do the same thing. Now I have a basic land, and then I have another land that's not basic. I don't want to play this one, because what's going to happen is it's going to come on the field. I'm going to tap it. That's that little... Can I make it bigger? No. Anyway, I would tap it, sacrifice it, search for another land, and it's tapped. So I wouldn't be able to use that. So I'm going to use this one. And then I can either play this or this card, or this card. Let's say I have 1 mana. This is a sorcery. So you have sorceries, creatures, you have instants, Creatures again, lands. So a sorcery card is a card that can be played on your turn. Instants can be played on anybody's turn. We'll get into that. And of course, creatures you can play on your turn. So I want to get a creature out here. I need something to defend with. You'll notice this has an ability that says landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, put a 1/1 counter on this creature. So I don't want to defend with this, right? It would die. What's going to happen is this 1 power and his 1 toughness. So think of this as his strength and his health, right? If I blocked right now, it would be 1 power to my 1 toughness, and then my 0 power to his 1 toughness. So he would kill me. I would not kill him. It's not worth it. So hey, you shut up. So I'm not going to block, I'm going to take the damage. So I can do this a couple different ways, right? I can play this land. It would count as a land going down. He'd get +1/+1. I could then sacrifice it, get another land out. That counts as my second land. So and then that would give this +1/+1 twice. Is there anything else that I would want to use instead? I got 1 mana, 2... I think what I'm going to do... play this, get 1 more mana. I'm going to play this card because I can now search for a mana or a creature, which I only have mana. I can put that in my hand. And I'm actually going to save this one. I could have used it on a different card. I could have used this card, but I'm going to save it. And here's why. So I'm going to attack. He can't do anything because his creature is tapped, so he can't defend with it. So I'm going to end my turn. And I'm going to keep this 1 mana here because I have an instant. So let's say, for example, he uses a card that directly affects this card to like deal damage to it. Well, this has something called hexproof, so it essentially negates that. So I'm going to wait just in case he plays something like that. I can't defend. No point in playing this since I can't defend. I'm going to pass and just take the damage. Another one of those. So this time, again, instead of doing this to double up on this guy, I'm going to play a 3rd mana. I want to play this card for 3. 1 green, 2 of any. What this one says is essentially anytime, and you can read this, but essentially anytime a landfall or a bird's ability would activate, it activates twice. So I'm going to bring this out. So that way when I do play this, it's going to happen 4 times instead of twice. So I've got a 2/3. If he defends, it's not going to kill him. He's not going to kill me. It's going to be a waste because I'll end up tapping my creature. So I'm going to say no attack, save it just in case. So, now unless he has something that's going to buff him up or kill him, I should be okay to defend with him. And that would kill him actually. So actually let's do this. Alright, so that shouldn't kill me and that shouldn't kill me. Oh, but there we go, +1. So that is going to kill me. Thank goodness he didn't use it on that card to kill this. So it actually ended up working out for us. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this card for 3. Every time a land enters, he doubles his counters. And then it doubles up again because of him. So I'm going to play this. 2/2, 4/4, right? I'm going to sacrifice this. Bring out another one. So that happens 2 more times. Now he's going to do a 16/16, which is ridiculous. He can't do anything, so I'm going to attack. And then this symbol right here, this means trample. So essentially, if he does block with this, any excess damage, so 13 more, is going to trickle over into him. Since I know, unless he can destroy this card, which he can't because he doesn't have any mana, I am going to win this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to play this. This card allows me to see my library, so I could play this if I wanted to. I'm going to save it just in... No, actually it doesn't matter. It doesn't have any cards, so yeah, I'm going to do this. Just to kind of show you how these abilities double up. He'll become like a 64, yep, and then it'll be like a 220 something in a second. Now this is overkill, but just kind of showing you. And he loses because he's going to take 253 damage out of his 16 health.
You got me.
Very fast. Hopefully it didn't explain it too quickly. I know there's a lot of things I didn't necessarily go over. This is just kind of a quick intro on how to play Magic. Technically, and I think I'll go ahead and make another video explaining it, but technically there's something called a stack. So let's say I play an instant card, right? So an instant card happens instantaneously. So let's say, for example, this is my deck, right? I played, let's say the other player plays this card, right? He's a creature card. And I'm like, man, that's a pretty good ability down there. I don't want that to be on the field. That thing's going to get strong. So I'm going to use Opt, right? So again, this is the other player's turn. He plays Razzle Dazzler, and I say no. Or no, that's yeah, bounce off. So I say no. I can do this one of two ways. I can, once it comes to the field, I can return target creature or vehicle to his owner's hand. Or I can, if I can find it, this one, counter. So counter is like essentially saying, okay, you cast that spell, but I countered it and it didn't actually happen. So if he plays his spell, Razzle Dazzler, and I counter it, it's gonna act like that never happened. And instead of this going back to his hand, it's actually gonna go to the graveyard. Now let's get into the stack. So again, he plays Razzle Dazzler. That's the bottom of the stack. I play Essence Scatter. That's now on the top of the stack to counter that. He says, no, I need that card, and he just happens to have also an Essence Scatter. So then he plays Essence Scatter on top of mine. So now his counter is countering my counter, and this card would still come to play, if that makes sense. Instants and stuff are really the only time where it really gets muddled with that, but as long as you're understanding that each spell that is played starts or goes on top of that stack, it'll kind of help, so that way you understand like what happens where. So like, let's take this for example again, right? He plays Razzle Dazzler, I play Essence Scatter to counter, he plays Essence to counter. He keeps his cards, both of those Essence Scatters are gone. Again, Razzle Dazzler stays, but because he's cast his second spell, because he played this one first, and then he played that second, this gets +1/+1, now becomes a 2/3. And that's going to keep happening. Let's say it gets to the point where this is like a 5/6. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is becoming a lot, right? I'm going to use Unsummon. It's going to go back to his hand, and it's going to become a 1/2 again, have to redo all of that. So just kind of like some strategy involved. Let's take... How would we do this? Here, we'll explain this one real quick too for you. So, where are you? Okay, so ride the Shopoof. So essentially, this comes down. Actually, this is a great example. Enchantments, right? An enchantment, once you play it, stays on the field, unless the card says otherwise. So I play this, and this just stays on the field. It's out there until somebody destroys it or end of game. So this says, landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, put a 1/1 counter on target creature. So what's going to happen? Let's say I've got one of these on the field. All right. Then I play Saw's Chocobo. Or here, let's rewind a little bit. I've got Ride the Shopoof out. I've got Traveling Chocobo out. Then I play Saw's Chocobo, so that comes out. Then I play my land, and we're going to make this a little complicated just to help kind of understand how the stack works. And then I play Evolving Wilds land, right? It's another one of those that the land comes out, I can sacrifice it to get another one. So it's like 2 instances of a land's coming out in one turn. This is going to come out. This is going to happen first. Whenever a land you control enters, put a 1/1 counter on target creature. Since I'd have Saws and that other one, I would choose probably Saws. I'm going to put that on there. Then, because of Traveling Chocobo's ability, it's going to happen again. So now I'm going to get 2 1/1 counters just from Ride the Shopoof on Saws. So now he's going to be a 2/3. Then his ability pops off, and I get a 1/1 and a 1/1 again. Actually, I forgot, because we've got Traveling Chocobo, it happens 4 times. With this one. So now he goes from a 2/3 to a 6/7 in one turn. Like it's crazy. So anyway, that just kind of I hope that kind of helps you understand like the stack, how to play cards, stuff like that. I mean, there's a lot more to it, but that's kind of the beginning. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to jump into a actual ranked match. I'm going to kind of explain stuff, but because I'm going to have a timer, I'm going to go through a little quicker. forewarning, there are some players, doesn't happen often, but there are some players that will purposely take forever in the hopes that you will quit so they win the match. It's very annoying. Not the best starting hand, to be honest, but it'll be okay. I mean, we'll hope. Let's see. At least have a creature to put out with mana generation. Enchantment you control enters, and whenever... Okay, so that guy's gonna get bigger with enchantments and stuff. Gotta be on the lookout for that. So now with him, I have 1 mana that I can tap from him next turn. Oh, this black thing, very important. This is Summoning Sickness. You cannot activate abilities, tap them, or attack with them when they first come out. Well, sorry, not the abilities part. Like, abilities still happen if they're like automatic, if it says like when this enters, do this. But you can't tap your card. So you can't attack with it, you can't tap it. Oh, I have a lot of these. This is risky, but we'll see. Was going to attack and make him a 2/2, he could defend and kill me, and then he'd still be there. I mean, he would die, and I would die. It's just not a trade-off I want to do when he can potentially get bigger. Enters, exile, target. Okay, so we don't want that, so I'm going to do Hexproof, because that is going to allow him to kill this guy, and I don't want that. So I just made him Hexproof, so that it won't affect him, thank goodness. Very risky putting all these on here. I normally don't do this, but we're going to see if we can make this work. We should give him 2 more +1/+1 counters and a bunch of mana, which will help for cards later on. Sucks. I'm getting mana flooded, so I'm definitely going to lose this because there's literally nothing I can do. And sometimes this happens. It's very aggravating, but nothing you can do about it. Lose this, but it's alright. It happens sometimes. You just get mana flooded, or vice versa, you get mana sapped. Yeah, nothing but mana, so. But anyway, let's see. Let's play something. We'll do one more. This one's kind of, this is a rough deck. It's not like the one I just used, that's actually a really good deck. This one I'm still working on, so it doesn't play the best, but we'll see. It should be a bit of a longer match, a lot more counters and removals, and a lot of cool stuff happening in this one. Green, oh, just so you know, green is more of like ramping up mana, putting out massive creatures. Blue is a lot of mill, counter, stuff like that. White is usually control and lifelink, which means gaining health. Not the greatest start, but should be okay. Red is considered like a burn, which means it's really, really, really fast, does a lot of damage really quick. Honestly, usually pretty hard to keep up with. Black is like destroy and play from the graveyard. Black is really fun. But yeah. So I could use this to return this back to his hand, but I'm going to wait, right? I'm going to wait till there's a stronger creature. Even if he could attack, 1 damage is nothing. I'm not worried about 1 damage. I played this guy because he's unblockable, so they can't block him. And every time he deals damage, I get to draw a card and then discard one. Unless I have 7 or more cards in my graveyard, then I get to keep. I don't have to discard. So this is a good card for me to just keep drawing stuff and hopefully get something that I really want or need. So no blocks, because I don't want that guy to die. I'm gonna draw a card, so it also helps for him not to have 3 cards, so that way he doesn't gain life or make that guy stronger. Oh, I need that really bad, so we'll get rid of that guy and play for land. I still have 2, so I could get an unsummon, which I don't really need. I kind of want this card out first, because he'll get stronger as I play a second card every round. And now he's unblockable. Of course, he was already unblockable. I actually kind of want all those cards, but it's okay. So this is a little, like tracker, to help you keep track. So, you know, this one says after you have 7 or more cards, you don't have to discard, but this tells me I have 4 out of 7. And so he can't kill me unless he blocks with 2 of these, so... And if he blocks 2 for 1 of my cards, like, it's totally worth it, so... So then he doesn't get a bonus because I killed that card. Now he will, and it's going to happen twice. That's her. So he's going to get another +1 because of that, so he's 2/2. Then he's going to be a 3/3, and that'll be a 2/2. Take damage. play that card using 2 life instead of mana.
Your hope is wasted. You cannot win.
And I made that thing weak, so that way if it gets stronger, it doesn't do as much damage to me. Plus it gives me a chance to kill him. That's a good card. It's a really good card, actually. Yeah, so he won't attack because I could kill all of his guys.
Become subdued.
Really wish I had that card that I got rid of that said give everything -1/-1 because it would have killed those 2 cards. That's milling. So I just went from 1 card to 17 cards into his graveyard. Normally I actually win this game by milling their entire deck, but I might actually just win this through damage. Oh, that's a sorcery. Damn! Let's see, he has... how many cards in his library? 31, 30... see if I can mill all 30 for him. He's got to keep something to defend, unless he thinks he can kill me, which those 3 he can't, so he can only attack with these. He couldn't kill me anyway, so if he's smart, he'll defend, because if he doesn't, these will be unblockable, these will end up being unblockable, and he'll lose. If he dies, then I'll win.
Iterate on my performance.
So he has 15. Because I already have 8 damage, there's nothing he can do about it. So just to be a turd, there's multiple ways to win though, so you had 24 cards left. This card right here says mill cards equal to your graveyard, which maybe one more turn I could have milled the rest of his cards, and what that means is if on his turn, if he can't draw anything, he automatically loses. So like this deck is very infuriating to play against because it essentially says, yep, you don't get to do that, you don't get to do that, you don't get to do that, oh, and all your cards go into the graveyard. It's very infuriating. Anyways, guys, I really hope this helped. If there is something specific you want me to go over, want to see, explain better, whatever the case is, because this was just kind of a quick, I guess not quick, but a basic, throw a comment in there and I will make some more videos trying to explain some stuff better. But otherwise, I'll take care.